Hello. I'm trying very hard to remember in the beginning. Housekeeping item. Please hit subscribe and like. And my audience already comments a lot, so I don't have to request that. But I seem to be guilty of never asking for subs. I think they're just going to magically happen one by one, and I think that's fine. But please hit subscribe if you're watching anyway, because then the video gets out more, and then more people learn about this, and we can save people from these topics, these experiences. Because I guess the more subs you have, of course, your video is going to pop up under more people's feeds. Okay. This topic, as many others, made me very sad. When I first heard this, when I first was learning about this, when I heard the experts say it, I was sad. And then, because I liked myself. You know, you'll be a different person going forward. They say you'll never be the same going, forward after your experience with the narcissist. You'll never be the same again. And I thought, I like myself. What do they mean? Well, now that I've been living it, and as I've been living it, it's unfolded to me, I realized that, no, I am not, but there's a lot of good ways in which that is. I'm very much stronger. That's different. I'm very much empowered, educated, and going forward, I'll just be more careful, discerning, and harder to convince to give my trust away. I'm still optimistic. That's the part that I thought they meant I would be different going forward. I assumed they meant I would no longer be full of the same hope I had before. I am. I'm just aware now. That's not a bad thing. So if you're hearing that in other videos, I want to explain it to you. That's not a bad thing. I've probably learned things I should have known already. I'm 54 now, okay? I should have known these things already. It's impossible not to be different going forward after this experience. The sentence, I've used this before. I explained this once before in a video, I think a long time ago, but I look at parenting, and I'm going to liken it to the narcissist, as a sentence in life. This is how I explain parenting. Every single thing in life was this part of the sentence, then there's a semicolon, and the rest of the sentence is parenting. Everything changes. It's nothing to do with what's before the semicolon. Everything changes after it. It's two independent streams of life. Parenting after not being a parent, right? It changes you. Changes your DNA. It changes every single thing about you when you become a parent. Instantly. It's the most instantaneous change ever. I think of the sentence with the narcissist. It's not as dramatic, I hope, at least not in the miraculous way. I can't think of anything as being as dramatic as the change of becoming a parent. But in the same drama, think of it as a sentence. This was your life before the narcissist. There's a semicolon. The rest of your life without the narcissist, you are a different person, just like with parenting. It changes you. I was way too trusting before. Way. My daughter pointed that out to me when she was little. Little. Mama, you're too trusting. That's how little she was. She was still saying mama. She wasn't saying tiny or small yet. She started calling me tiny or small when she passed my height, when she was about 12. So she was young. Mama, you're too trusting. We were watching like a Criminal Minds. I'll never forget it. And I was like, oh, that little man's cute. And she goes, Mama, that's the killer. I was like, how do you know? She said, don't you hear the crescendo? Don't you? She's an opera singer, high soprano. So she studies all that, music theory and all that. But she wasn't at that age. She just knew. She's a very well-read, advanced child. She said, don't you hear the music? Don't you hear the whatever music? I say crescendo, but whatever it is that she called it. Can't you tell? Didn't you catch on that he did? She just knew stuff. I was so trusting. That opened my eyes. That's over 10 years ago now. That opened my eyes and I started to pay attention, but I didn't change. I was still too trusting. And I would just assume that everyone coming at me was coming from the same place that I was, an honest place. I don't go after people to make them think I want to be with them when I don't really want to be with them. Who does that? I would never, ever, ever. Unless it's a player and I was wide open to that. I can handle myself with a player. You either sleep with them or you don't. It's your adult consensual choice. They don't frighten me. But this was different, right? I had never encountered this before. So you give away your trust. I used to just give it away. I didn't have people earn it. Now, new people, they need to earn it. And I'm not saying I'm bitter, but I don't, and I won't, and I just give it away. That's a great change in myself that I've seen. So I'm no longer sad, and I don't want you to be either. If when I say that, you're going to be different. These are all good things. If you were one of the automatically trusting set, let's together try to get to be more discerning, right? I mean, we have to be more discerning. How on God's green earth but see, I don't know that I ever really did. But I had to have, at some point, felt comfortable enough. Yes, I have to, to have that rug pulled out. Sure, yes, okay, so I did. For a minute there, for a while, I guess I really did. And then you stay in it, so you're believing. That's a trust. You're believing in them that they want to change, that they're going to change. That's a trust. I'm not giving that away anymore. Before you knew them, you may have been more in the dark about people, these kinds of people, than after you knew them. Now you know moving forward, and you will bring forward the strength you've gained from having this experience. Now you know these people do exist. These people do come at you in this way. There are people like this on the earth. Our eyes are open. What a great change that is. I'll take that difference all day long and twice on Sunday. Your eyes are open. And don't ignore what you've learned. Keep your intuition sharp. Listen to it. Watch for the red flags. There's a lot we can do that we've already discussed that can help with our discernment going forward. That's all stuff I don't know. I didn't have a handle on that stuff before. It should be viewed as a positive that you will be a different person after your narcissist. It should be viewed as a positive. I wouldn't trade this education for anything, including never having gone through it. If someone magical came to me and offered to wipe out the experience, I would decline. Now, a lot of you would not. I would decline. I like who I am better now. I liked me before. But man, I had a lot to learn, obviously, and I'm glad I did. Going forward can only be better because now you know better. Do you know what I mean? And I would not have learned, I've said this many times, I would not have learned this lesson just by reading about this. If somebody had said to me, if I hadn't experienced it, that's a lot of ifs. Let me start. If I had never experienced it and I came upon something called narcissistic personality disorder and I read all about it, I wouldn't have understood it. I wouldn't have known what they meant. I still would have met the guy and still wouldn't have realized that he was one. I wouldn't have known what they meant, how strong they come on, how convinced they'll make you. I wouldn't have gotten it unless I walked through this fire. I would never have understood how bad it could be unless it happened to me. And unless it happened to me, I would never have looked it up to deal with these emotions and learned what it was. So I wouldn't trade it. Very wide open my eyes are to the experience having been something that I view as a positive in my life. I've completely flipped the perspective because I won't let him linger I made a choice. I don't want him lingering in my mind as a negative for the rest of my life. And I've made videos on, that's why I've made videos on encouraging you to look at the reasons that you've been with your narcissist. I'm 100% digressing. But I just thought I'd mention that. That's why I've said that. Look for your reasons, and then you'll think of it as a positive. I'm not letting him have the power that I'm going to trudge like this, downtrodden because he was in my life. Nope. And it's not, oh, thank you for the experience, you. It's thank you, in my world, God, the universe, thank you, whoever brought this to me, for me to learn this experience, I thank you. I think it was God right out. Girl, you need to learn this lesson. Boom. That's just me. You know, to be able to go forward away from them, embrace that you are different, and realize and recognize the newfound strengths you've accumulated. The difference in you may be that you won't tolerate it anymore, or you'll tolerate that much less. The difference in you may be that you aren't going to believe the words someone tells you and just accept them just because he said them. Right? So if somebody comes at me with, I love you, okay, if I've been with them 6 months or 3 months, whatever the time, there's not a time period. That's not what I mean. But if well, no, kind of there is after the narcissist experience, certainly. But you want to see a consistency. You want to see action. You want to see, them behaving a certain way. Yeah, all those things do take time. If later they tell you I was love at first sight, that's fine. But I'm thinking 3, 6 months, 4 months? You need time to see that person. I've read everywhere from 3 months to 6 months. Definitely after 6, their true person will come out. Nobody can fake it that long, I don't think. The difference in you may allow something to be cut short with something new if you see something you don't like during that time. The difference in you might be, I'm going to cut this short. I didn't like that. On week 7, you might be out of there. Whereas in the past, you'd be, no, I'll stick it out. He showed me enough good, I'm going to wait it out. No. Now you're thinking, no. I'm not waiting out nothing. I know exactly where this is headed. Goodbye. Might take you 7 weeks to spot the narcissists. They're slick little devils. You don't know what package they're going to come in. They're all different. They follow the same recipe, but their delivery system is different. They look different. They sound different. They disguise themselves differently. They've been doing it their whole lives. Some of them are master manipulators. They'll know exactly what to say. So it's up to us. It's up to us. And that's part of being a different person. I wouldn't have known any of that. I was duped many times. I've looked back and done the legwork with my dry erase board. I made a flow chart. It's happened to me many times because I wasn't awake to this. I didn't learn this lesson. I didn't hear the whispers. I didn't listen to my intuition. I ignored the red flags. I will do none of those things going forward now. I won't. I will listen to the red flags. I will listen to my intuition. I will see things. You won't stay silent. You won't accept explanations that make zero sense. You'll adhere to that higher standard that you now hopefully have firmly in place for yourself. Being different doesn't mean you have to be cut off from any idea or possibility of encountering something new because you've been through the ringer of a time with this person. Being different now does mean you will be looking out for you militantly. You have to be on your own side and look out for yourself. When you're encountering a new person, it's just you against them. Allow your different person that you are now with armor to protect yourself. That's okay. I don't mean if you're a little guarded, whatever word you want to call it, if you feel that's all right. I don't think we should build cement walls. I want to maintain all of my optimism going forward, and I will encounter people because I feel okay with it. I feel okay if I encounter someone and they turn out to be, not the best person, that I'll be okay to be able to then end it and walk out. I'm a different person. I'm not hanging on for hope for the Cinderella story. I am in life, but not if something doesn't feel right. That's not it. I'm out of here. I think I used to hang on for a long time in the relationship because I really wanted that Cinderella story. And I went through stuff that I probably shouldn't have. And I never learned. But I learned this time, and you darn right I'm different going forward. And you should embrace that. We should love it. Yes, you are different. And it's a glorious education and empowerment that you should feel.